What's happening, everybody? On today's show, we will get you set for the start of SEC baseball next week. We'll catch up with star LSU outfielder and reigning freshman of the year, Dylan Cruz, will join the show, and the latest on the Bryan Harsin drama at Auburn as all the SEC football coaches got together for their coaches meeting in Birmingham. And we'll go around the conference with more coaching hires, some more spring game date announcements. Locked on SEC starts right now.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome to Locked On SEC. Great to have you guys along. I'm Chris Gordy. Thanks for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Remember, Locked On SEC is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube and at LockedOnSEC.com. Let's jump into it. Let's go around the conference.
Boots out to the right. Takes the handoff. What a catch!
Around the conference.
And we start with Bryan Harsin, who reportedly met on Wednesday with officials involved in the Auburn inquiry into the football program as he returned from vacation. Pete Thamel of ESPN and Chris Lowe reported that the meeting was considered generally benign and no clarity of the next steps was given. Earlier on Thursday, Harsin attended the meetings in Birmingham with the other SEC coaches. Reporters staked out the building waiting for Harsin to arrive. After he went in through a side door, he came out a few hours later and left without comment. The university is looking into the football program, which has lost 18 players and 5 assistant coaches since the end of Harsin's first year on the Plains. An Auburn administration is looking into what caused the wave of departures. The defections came after the Tigers lost their last 5 games and finished 6-7 overall. Harsin maintained in an interview with ESPN last week that he is not planning on going anywhere. Auburn released a statement Monday saying university officials are judiciously collecting information. Caught headlines earlier this week, but apparently Auburn officials have put in a new policy where you are required to participate with Auburn in any investigation. And a lot of people thought they put that in there just for Bryan Harsin in case he did not cooperate. They could fire him for cause. So the drama continues. We will see what the resolution will be here. As we mentioned, Harsin was on hand at the SEC head coaches meeting in Birmingham Thursday afternoon. And all the coaches were in attendance. Jimbo Fisher rolled up in an Audi. And your head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs, reigning national champ, Kirby Smart, rolled up in a minivan. Again, it's the offseason. Anything can become a story. Closing off the Auburn chapter of this, Gus Malzahn, who, of course, was fired by Auburn, been at UCF. He knows all about turmoil, and he's watching it from afar. Columnist Mike Bianchi in Florida said that Malzahn did not want to dive into the situation at his former school. Instead, he simply said he's blessed to be at UCF, finished his first year with a 9-4 record and a win over Florida in the Gasparilla Bowl. So Gus Malzahn kind of keeping his mouth shut. Got a good thing going over at UCF. Why would he want to talk about the drama over at Auburn? Good news for the SEC, though. On Thursday, they announced they had distributed $777 million among its member schools last fiscal year, with the average payment being around $54.6 million per school. That's up around $10 million year over year. The SEC increased its annual revenue by $105 million during the year ending August 31st. The document provided by the conference on Thursday in response to a request from USA Today Sports shows the SEC with total revenue of just over $833 million. Again, the resulting distributions to its 14 member schools averaged around $54 million, an increase of $9 to $10 million per school compared to 2020. In addition, the SEC provided each of its schools with a $23.3 million advance on future conference distributions in fiscal 2021. The money advance came from a loan to the SEC that, according to a new document, was for $350 million from Truist Financial. The SEC's financial standing, very different from the Big Ten. The SEC is the first of the Power 5 conferences to release its tax records for the fiscal 2021 year. So there you have it. A lot of dollars and cents, but just know the SEC is very rich and powerful, and we will continue to be that way. Let's get to some actual football news. Chris Kiffin, his tenure at Ole Miss under his brother Lane Kiffin, well, it's going to be pretty darn short. After being hired as the Rebels co-defensive coordinator just last month, Chris Kiffin is headed back to the NFL ranks. According to Chris Lowe of ESPN, Kiffin accepted a job with the Cleveland Browns. Kiffin spent 2020 and 2021 as part of Kevin Stefanski's staff in Cleveland, coaching their defensive line. It remains to be seen whether that's the same position he will accept this time around in Cleveland. Spent the 2012 to 2016 seasons as Ole Miss's defensive line coach. Also worked under Lane at Florida Atlantic in 2017. Nick Saban picking up a former LSU Tiger to join his staff. Quarterback Zach Mettenberger spent the last 2 years coaching high school in the Tennessee area, with the former LSU quarterback, former NFL quarterback, now taking a step to his coaching career. He's now listed on Alabama's coaching staff directory as a football analyst at Alabama under Nick Saban. Mettenberger was a 6th-round pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, going to the Tennessee Titans. He finished his LSU career with over 5,700 passing yards, 35 touchdowns. If you remember, he was throwing the ball to Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham during his tenure at LSU. Of course, started his career at Georgia before he transferred. So what could have been had Mettenberger hung around before transferring out. A little note with the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. C.J. Uzomah, the former Auburn tight end, did not need any encouragement when a podcast host asked him this week that if he should take a Skyline chili bath if the Bengals win the Super Bowl. Uzomah said, easy, 100%. I'm going to wear swim trunks. You put me in a swimming pool, I will dive in there and eat my way out. So looking forward to see if the Bengals can pull it off and win the Super Bowl. C.J. Uzomah is going to jump in a Skyline chili pool. Looking forward to that. Over at South Carolina, they continue to build this offseason, and expectations will be raised next year in year 2 for Shane Beamer, building off a 7-6 season. Fortunately, he will have a new Oklahoma quarterback, Spencer Rattler, coming in, and others. On Thursday, the Gamecocks revealed first look we will get of them will be in the annual Garnet and Black Spring scrimmage that will kick off on Saturday, April 16th at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. So just so we to fill you in, the dates we know now, Texas A&M's Maroon and White game will be Saturday, April 9th. Georgia's G-Day spring game will be played on that same day as South Carolina, as well as Mississippi State. And then the following weekend, Saturday, April 23rd, will be Ole Miss's Grove Bowl. So those are the dates we have so far. We'll continue to update you as we get more spring game dates across the SEC. There's plenty of talent across the SEC baseball league this season. Again, they'll get underway next week, but the coaches released their predictions for how things will shake out. Ole Miss has been predicted to win the SEC baseball championship as voted by the league's 14 head coaches. Shortstop Jacob Gonzalez is the only first-team player from Ole Miss on the all-SEC first team, as LSU and Vanderbilt each had 3 players on the first team, and Florida, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt each had 2. A year after Mississippi State and Vandy met in the College World Series, Mississippi State won it all. Projects to be another strong season of SEC baseball. The SEC West finishes are predicted as follows. Arkansas, number 1, a tie for second with Mississippi State, Ole Miss. LSU coming in 4th, Bama 5th, A&M 6th, and Auburn 7th. And in the East, Vanderbilt predicted to win the East, followed by Florida, number 2, Georgia, number 3, Tennessee 4, South Carolina 5, Kentucky 6, and Missouri 7. Also this week, the SEC and ESPN announced their schedule for the upcoming season. Some games of note to put on your calendar. ESPN2 and ESPNU will be picking up some games in addition to the SEC network. Tennessee at Vandy on ESPN2 on April 1st will be a good one. Later in the calendar, Ole Miss will be at LSU on ESPN2 on May 13th. So some good matchups there. Thank you guys again for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. When we return, looking forward to our conversation with LSU star outfielder Dylan Cruz. That is coming your way next. Look, the big game is happening this weekend, and nobody's got you covered more with all the props and odds and everything you could think of with the big game than our friends over at Bet Online. They've got you covered with, again, more props, odds, and lines than ever before as we march towards the big game. I mean, prop bets on everything from the coin toss to whatever you can think of. They've got it for you. Encourage you to go there right now, betonline.net. They remain the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news throughout this sports season. It's not just football either. BetOnline's got you covered with up-to-the-minute info on pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the new amazing offers available throughout this year. BetOnline, it is where the game starts. Make sure you sign up and get in ahead of all the action happening in the big game this weekend. Right along here, Locked On SEC, and we are getting ready for the start of yet another SEC baseball season. And one of the big names to watch for when it comes to SEC baseball is LSU outfielder Dylan Crews, who, had a fantastic freshman season last year. Now expectations go even higher. Expect even bigger things out of him this coming season at LSU. And Dylan Crews joins us right now. Dylan, what's going on, man? Welcome in.
How you doing, man? I'm doing great. Just hanging here at the house in Florida and just training, again, trying to get ready for this next season.
Yeah, the next season will be here before we know it. And, man, it's so funny. I was looking through your bio and the stats last year, and it's like all these accolades, from 2021 National Freshman of the Year, 2021 All-American, all this. It's like, man, it's such a great year. How do you top that, going into your sophomore season? Like, what are some of the things you've worked on or been focused on this offseason?
Yeah, honestly, obviously I want to get better at everything. There's going to be a lot of expectations going into this year. It's very important for me not to let those expectations get to me and kind of just play the game I've always been playing. And, I'm going to trust the process and trust the training that I do down here. And, I'm going to go out there and give it all I got and just, again, play the game that I've always been playing ever since I was little.
You came to LSU to play for Coach Paul Maneri, who obviously is a Hall of Famer, and decided to hang it up and retire and call it a career. And it was an extensive coaching search. LSU searched long and far for who their next coach would be, and they find Jay Johnson, who, man, if you've never heard the name, all you need to do is Google him and just start seeing this guy has been a winner everywhere he's been so far. What were your initial impressions of Coach Jay Johnson, and what can we expect out of him this year at LSU?
No, Jay's been great. He's been awesome this fall. One thing that stood out to me was how his enthusiasm and his energy that he brings to the field every single day. It kind of carries on to us players, and we're getting 1% better every single day. During practice, we focus on one thing at a time and master it as best as we can. And as soon as we do that, we go on to the next thing. So I feel like this is going to be a good year for us, and I feel like we're in great hands.
How lethal can this lineup be this year? I mean, as good as you guys were offensively last year, top to bottom, all the guys you bring back and the new additions, I mean, it seems like there's a chance this lineup will be even better than last year's team.
Yeah, I agree. Last year we had a great lineup, a lot of guys through the whole lineup. I believe this year will even be even better. We got guys like Jacob Berry, bunch of JUCO guys, Reselman, Jason Bowman, a lot of those guys. I feel like those guys will contribute and help us compete for a national championship and hopefully go to Omaha.
What is what's the latest with the hair, by the way? Because I'm seeing all these pictures of you from last year, and are we doing something different with the hair this year? What are we planning to do with it?
No, we got the mullet still. I cleaned it up. Got some stripes going on right now, but yeah, I had to come down in Florida and clean it up a little bit.
Okay.
Shout out to my girl that does that for me. She's great, but yeah, I'm sticking with the mullet this year.
Okay, so you're not cutting it at all. We're rolling with it, huh?
No.
Okay. Thought you mentioned it a little bit, but just some thoughts on the new additions, some of the new guys you were able to meet this this fall and preparing for the 2022 season. Just thoughts on a couple of the new guys who've come in so far.
Yeah, like I said, we got Eric Reselman, Jason Bowman, A lot of the freshman guys, especially, they are coming in with a chip on their shoulders, and they're contributing very well and fulfilling those shoes and expectations that they have. So from top to bottom, I feel like this is going to be a great lineup, a great set of guys that we have this year. I'm really excited for this year, and it's going to be a great year, I believe.
You're obviously when you talk about LSU, there's always high expectations at LSU. You embrace that? I mean, is it almost you kind of have to expect that? Look, these fans expect greatness, but it's kind of fun too, right? Having those high expectations that everybody out there is expecting you to deliver and come up big.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely playing here at LSU, there's a lot of expectations and high expectations. It's part of the reason why I came here, because I want to challenge myself and hopefully fulfill those expectations, but I can't let those expectations get to me. Like I said, I've been playing this game ever since I was little, so I know what I got to do, and I'm gonna trust the training that I'm doing down here, and I'm gonna go up this season with with just going out there, leaving it all on the field.
More with Dylan Cruz in just a second, but a quick note here for our friends at Built Bar. It is the time of year that you're probably giving up on your New Year's resolution, starting to eat crappy again. And that means you need to make a resolution now and do a little bit more. Stick to your resolution, eat right, and get yourself a Built Bar. Look, the Built Bar Puffs we've been telling you about for a while. If you haven't tried them yet, you're missing out. They are the best tasting bars out there. The Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy, marshmallowy. They're not just a protein bar. They taste like a treat, and they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Puffs are a fan favorite. Some incredible flavors, from the cinnamon churro to coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie. They are so good, and they will definitely be your favorites. Go check them out right now at built.com. And when you find something you like, I know you will, use our promo code LOCKED15. That's LOCKED15. That's going to get you your 15% off your first order. Use the promo code LOCK15. Get 15% off over at built.com. Continue our conversation with the 2021 National Freshman of the Year, Dylan Cruz. Dylan, thoughts on your first year playing in the SEC? I mean, it's one thing to observe it from afar and hear about it, but man, to play in it and go into some of these opposing hostile environments, what was that like? Playing in, some of these really just rabid fan bases across the SEC.
No, it was great. It was great. Definitely wasn't what I was expecting, for sure. I now know that the SEC is not something to play with, and those crowds can be rough, and it's very, very hard to kind of keep your head straight. But I now know what to expect, and I'm gonna go in there and be ready for those games.
And look, you guys played. I mean, there were some packed houses in places you went, but there were still some COVID protocols and all that. I mean, this year, you're probably going to have even bigger crowds this year playing in some even more hostile environments. So that'll be fun. But on the flip side, man, a packed Alex Box Stadium, nothing's better than that, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's crazy. I always say, I really haven't got that full experience yet over at Alex Box. I really want to host a regional and host a super regional over there and see how packed that place can get.
You guys obviously, you rallied at a great moment and were able to get to the postseason and make a nice little run for Coach Maneri's last hurrah. But looking around, seeing what the other SEC teams, obviously Mississippi State going and winning it all. The road doesn't get any easier, right? Because all the other teams in the SEC are just loaded with talent.
Yeah, I think the big thing with us last year was that we were always in those 1 or 2 run games. I feel like this year with Coach Jay, he's going to make those games. He's going to help us out win those games, those 1 run, 2 run games, and hopefully get us on top of those games. And just those games right there, they're separators for sure. For SEC play and ranking wise, So Jay's working out with us on that, and I think that's a big separator for this year.
It's so interesting, Dylan, when you look across Major League Baseball and a lot of the big league arms, a lot of those guys were Friday night starters in the SEC. And it feels like, man, you go through a gauntlet facing those Friday night starters in the SEC. What was the biggest challenge for you in seeing some of those big arms when you start SEC play every weekend?
Yeah. No, I mean, I've seen those guys. I've seen guys, mid-90 guys in high school through showcases and all that. I think the biggest thing was, uh, minimizing my strike zone, not trying to get too big sometimes. And, no, those guys over there, they have a great staffs on their side of the field. They know how to pitch you. So really just minimizing on my plan and in my zone, having a plan up there every at bat, and just fulfilling that AB and not change anything.
You had 39 walks last year, and obviously you talk about keeping that strike zone and not expanding and not swinging at things outside the zone. Is that maybe something you think you build on even higher, work up bigger walks, and even when you're not swinging at things, you're still finding ways to get on base?
Yeah, I mean, I believe I didn't strike out as much as much as I did last year. I think I'm working on right now. Minimizing my strike zone, having that plan, and not trying to expand my zone. Really, I feel like I want to have more walks than strikeouts this year, and that's one of my goals. And yeah, I'm trying to fulfill that.
Just a couple more for you. You got to play for the USA Collegiate National Team. Obviously, that's a tremendous honor. What was that like for you?
It was great. It was awesome playing for all those guys. Bunch of talent out there. All the coaches, the staff. It was great. I had a great time over there, and competing against those guys.
All right, last thing, Dylan. Most important thing. How much thought have we put into what will be the walk-up song this year?
I got to stick with the one I had last year for sure. Coming off a pretty good year, I got to stick with it. I can't change anything.
What was it? What did you have last year?
It was called Calabria 2008.
Okay. Come on. There's the easy one out there is Cruise by Florida Georgia Line.
Yeah.
Is that too easy?
I thought about it. Taking my official visits to the stadium and listening to all those guys' walk-up songs, there's a good beat. I noticed the trend, and I picked Calabria 2008, and it worked out really well. So I think I got to stick with it.
All right. Well, here's the deal, Dylan. You got LSU football, Brian Kelly, new head coach coming in, putting together a great recruiting class, high expectations for LSU football moving forward. Will Wade's killing it with the basketball team, doing their thing. Kim Mulkey's got the women rolling. So, man, I'm just saying, you guys got to keep this thing going here. Y'all got to hit the ground running for LSU baseball, right?
We do. We're kind of getting out of the trench we were in for a little while. Getting new staffs, great recruits. I feel like we're on the come up right now, and it's only up from here. So I think we're gonna have a great year. I'm really excited with what the athletics are doing, from football, baseball, and basketball. I mean, everything. It's just I feel like we're on the come up, and like I said, it's only up from here.
Dylan, great stuff, man. Thanks so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
All right, there you have it. That's Dylan Cruz of the LSU baseball team. All right, that is going to do it for this edition of Locked On SEC. My thanks again to Dylan Cruz for joining us. We'll be back on Monday, recapping all the action from the weekend, recapping the big game. Who wins that one will be Joe Burrow from LSU. Representing for the SEC will be Odell Beckham and some of the other guys on the other side. We will see. Talk about it all on Monday. Will Bryan Harsin still be the head coach at Auburn? We'll discuss it all next week right here on Locked On SEC. Make sure you subscribe and give us a 5-star review. And you guys have a great weekend. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. Now go make your second listen. Check out the Locked On Bets podcast with your boy Q and Lee Sterling, giving you all the picks you need for a fun sports weekend. Go check them out right now. I'm Chris Gordy. We'll talk to you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.